Hello, Pattillo alumni and friends. I am Cynthia Knight Dockery, a 1973 honorary graduate of W.A. Pattillo High School. It is my honor and privilege to serve as the chairwoman of the Public Relations Committee for the Alumni Association. Thank you for joining us for our 41st Alumni and third virtual reunion celebration. This year, our theme of Trojans Resilient and Strong will highlight on day one, Trojans Sacrifice, honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Day two, Trojans Pride, celebrating those whose achievements and longevity are to be commended. And day three, Trojans Promise, showcasing those who the Pattillo Alumni Association has assisted in furthering their education. We will also be highlighting and thanking those persons who have worked diligently over the years to keep the W.A. Pattillo High School legacy alive. The leadership. Thank you to the team that has made it possible to bring you these virtual reunions for the past 3 years. So please join us on our website, our Facebook page, and YouTube as we begin our 2022 virtual reunion of Trojans Resilient and Strong. Thank you.
Welcome to the W.A. Pattillo National Alumni Association's third virtual and 41st reunion celebration. This year we are Trojans Resilient and Strong. As we begin this journey of Trojans Sacrifice, Trojans Pride, and Trojans Promise, please note that so many Trojans are noteworthy and so much can be said about each person we highlight this year. However, we will not be able to read all that you see, so please remember to pause and read at your leisure. Join us now for our alma mater, Pattillo High, followed by Day 1, Trojans Sacrifice.
Pattillo High, Pattillo High, to your ideals we will aspire. Maroon and gold, our emblem bold, beckons us on as knights of old. Thy noble sons, thy daughters fair, will stand us high with bugles blare. Long as thy God is God above, we'll sing thy praise and show thee love.
Greetings. I am Fred S. Wood Jr., and I serve as your interim president. It is my pleasure to greet you at the beginning of our 2022 virtual reunion. In March of this year, your board made the decision to cancel the 2020 on-site reunion based on all of the information it had at that time. Hopefully, the lay of the land for 2023 will allow us to again assemble for our physical reunion. The state of the association is well, and it will be presented to you again at the virtual annual meeting on July 2nd. My charge is to provide a brief introduction to this segment. There are times when I look back at my days at W.A. Pattillo School and reflect on the things that happened that set my sails for high school, for college, and for life. So, as I began this virtual reunion, I look back into the days of old and reflect on my first year at W.A. Pattillo School. My teacher was Miss Patricia Ivy. It always struck me that she would kneel to make eye contact to have a serious conversation with you. From that I learned that no one stands as tall as the teacher who stoops to help a child. A mantra that I took with me into my chosen careers and to guide my interaction with people. Yes, sometimes you might have to get in the mire with the body to fully meet them eye to eye with understanding. So, as you begin this virtual reunion today, think back to your days at W.A. Pattillo School on someone who helped to set your sails for life. Please enjoy.
Hello, alumni family and friends. What a joy it is to speak with you today and to join you in this wonderful celebration. I am here to express our profound gratitude and to thank you for your commitment and continued support of our beloved alma mater. Yes, faith without works is dead. You have entrusted in us the gatekeepers of your finances, and your contributions have been significant. Since the inception of this administration in 2012, we have generated over $300,000 in revenue. This year alone, we have raised over $10,000 toward our general fund, the same toward our scholarship and established endowments. Membership has increased tremendously, and your support of our fundraisers over the past 3 years has been phenomenal. Over the years, we have featured our distinguished graduates. We have recognized our centenarians and trailblazers. We have paid tribute to our veterans. We have honored our teachers and our mentors, memorialized our fallen, and celebrated you. We have brought you such fine programming as the lecture recital, My Soul is a Witness, Spirit and Spirituality in Songs of America's Enslaved. We brought you the presentation, Amazing People with Pattillo Roots, and our much anticipated stellar reunions from year to year. We want to thank you, Pattillo, also for the privilege of serving you. That's something we don't take lightly. Attached to this annual report is a fair representation of our fiscal analysis for year in 2022. We want to ensure that there is an element of transparency in the performance of our duties. So steeped in the rich tradition of raising the bar in our quest to preserve the rich legacy of Pattillo, I thank you again, and I encourage you to continue on this journey with us. Be blessed, and I leave with you. In unity, there is strength. Please enjoy the rest of the presentation.
On May 9th, 2022, the Pattillo Alumni Association hosted a program honoring those Pattillo graduates who were killed in action in the Republic of Vietnam. Here's a portion of that program. Freedom isn't free. You have to pay the price, and you have to sacrifice for your liberty.
My name is LaShawn Jenkins. I am the current principal here at W.A. Pattillo, and it is my pleasure to be here with you guys today. One thing that I have said from day one of my arrival, and my first official day here at Pattillo as principal was March the 7th. So I've only been here, I think maybe I'm on day 46 of being the principal here, not that people count. But one thing that I have said to our students from day one, and I say to our staff, is that I want them to understand the significance of the soil that they tread every day. And that is, I want them to understand that we're not just a school in name. I want them to understand the historical significance of what it has taken for some people to lay the foundation for them to actually be Pattillo students. Most of the people that are seated on this side of the room were former Pattillo students over the course of decades. And so they were students when the building wasn't the new building, but they had a long lifetime connection to the school. And what's really powerful about this is that all these years later, that they still have pride in their school. Now granted, a lot of things have changed demographically in terms of high school and middle school, but at the end of the day, it's still Pattillo. There were three Pattillo alumni, three young men, I think they're all young males, who attended Pattillo, who went on to serve their country during a turbulent time, which we refer to as the Vietnam War, which you guys are certain about. And they lost their life fighting for our country, perhaps even fighting for our country during a time that it might not have even been popular, or it might not have been socially or politically correct. But the fact of the matter that they hailed from this very school, and that they did something that was monumental and through the lens of history, I think is really powerful. And what today is about honoring these three men who have fought gallantly for not only Pattillo, but also for our country and left their mark on the world. And so the Pattillo Alumni Association, these Pattillo alums, have decided that it be honorable to present our school with some special presentations that we will hang and honor in our school.
My name is Dr. Fred S. Wood Jr. I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I graduated from Pattillo High School in the class of 1962, long before you were born.
Good afternoon. My name is Gladys Dillon, and I also graduated from W.A. High School for class of 1961.
Good afternoon, my name is Lois Kyle Hinton, and I graduated from W.A. Pattillo High School in 1968. Hello everyone, my name is Janet Way, and I'm a graduate of the class of 1966 from W.A. Pattillo High School.
I'm Bessie Lewis, and I graduated with the class of 1966.
Hello, everyone. I am Clinton Stevens. I am a graduate of the 1966 class of W.A. Pattillo High School, and very proud about it.
My name is Charlotte Ritter, and guess what? I was a member of the class of 1966 of the W.A. Pattillo High School.
So my name is Susan Cook. I did not graduate from Pattillo High School, but I did attend school at Pattillo from 4th grade with Kathy and Keisha. They're my classmates. So I went to school here, but I worked down in the school system. I maybe hear me when I call and say school's out for snow or those kinds of things. I call your house. That's for my job in the school system. But I'm proud of part of it. Dr. Wood and lots of these other fine folks that do a lot of things to help support you guys and all the students across our district. So I'm just here to support them today.
Good evening. I'm S.T. Lloyd, graduated from W.A. Pattillo High School, class of 1966.
Let's say good evening to each and every one. I'm Dorsey Bird, and I graduated from the class of 1966.
always put me on the end. My name is Turner Taylor. I'm a graduate of W. Pattillo High School, 1966.
Good afternoon again. Paying homage to three fallen Trojans, we know that the nation owes a great debt to its veterans, whose service to the nation spans every day of our country's existence. There is no tribute, no commemoration, no praise that can truly match the magnitude of their service and sacrifice. Today, the W.A. Pattillo High School National Alumni Association will pay homage to three fallen Trojans who served this nation in uniform and paid the supreme sacrifice in combat action in the Republic of Vietnam. Each lost his life while serving in the Republic of Vietnam during the period of 1967 through 1970. These soldiers were the ones to keep us safe. We tend to take for granted those things in life that we rely upon but don't often see. We don't see through the same eyes of those who served or dedicated their lives to keeping us safe. We don't know the same fears or pains, the dangers they face, or the crosses they bear. We live our lives in a detached awareness, a vague oblivion knowing they were there somewhere doing something. To those who served, we honor them and thank them. We must ask for forgiveness of our ignorance to those challenges they faced, to the dangers that we could not endure. Even now, we thank these veterans for the sacrifices that were made by them and their family, so that we might have the time and freedom with our own. Know that the blood that was shedded, the long goodbyes and unseen tears are not forgotten nor diminished. As we honor our fallen Trojans with the family members of the names that I will call, please stand if they are present. Lance Corporal Roosevelt Thorpe, United States Marine Corps. Specialist 4 Cicero Whitfield, United States Army. Specialist 4 Bobby Eugene Jones, United States Army. Though far from home in a strange and distant land, they served with integrity, true to the ideas of the W.A. Pattillo High School and the ideals of our country. With devotion to duty, their efforts were not in vain, and their service to our country is the legacy of honor that they leave. Thank you.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Well, so you feed off your energy. Thanks for being here. A picture is 1,000 words. It says the things that we cannot always pour from our hearts. Even though I do not like the character of Colonel Jessup in one of my favorite poems, A Few Good Men, there's a line in it from Jessup that's so profound, and I paraphrase, that they, the servicemen, are there in the performance of and devotion to duty and country. These brave and courageous servicemen protecting us and sacrificing their lives for us. In appreciation of that ultimate sacrifice, we, the W.A. Pattillo High School Alumni Association, present this picture of Lance Corporal Franklin Roosevelt Thorpe, United States Marine Corps, from the class of the W.A. Pattillo High School, class of 1966. We present this picture of Specialist 4 Cicero Whitfield, Jr., United States Army, W.A. Pattillo High School of 1966. And Specialist Bobby Jones, United States Army, from the W.A. Pattillo High School class of 1967. To you, the Pattillo Middle School, with the memory of each one of them indelibly etched in our hearts and our minds forever. And we give this and present this to the school, and you can display it however you wish, with love and appreciation. Thank you. Yeah, we asked Karen to come up and accept it on behalf of the student body.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a joyous occasion in what we're doing here today. We're honoring three, as I would say, awesome men. Men that gave their lives for our freedom. So for that, I would ask that we all have a moment of silence and reverence today. Thank you. In honoring these three fallen soldiers, I'm reminded of a sacrifice that was made over 2,000 years ago for you, myself, and all of us. That was the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. He sacrificed his life that we might have life and have it more abundantly. Now these three soldiers, they sacrificed their lives for us. They gave their lives for us, that we could have freedom, that we could have life and have it more abundantly while we are here. So as we honor them, as we honor their families, their loved ones, these are three young men that were friends, classmates, relatives of all of us. And we are here today because of their sacrifices. So I would like for all of us to stand to our feet and give them a hand of applause for their sacrifice.
Specialist 4, Bobby Eugene Jones. Bob was born on January 20th, 1949, in Princeville, North Carolina, Edgecombe County, to the late James Jim Jones Jr. and Eva Ward Jones. Bob was the sixth child out of 11 to be born in the family. His siblings were Richard, Charles, Ida, Doris, Elzachia, Wanda, James III, Addie, Dolores, and Denise. Bob was educated in the Tarboro City School System at Princeville School and Pattillo School. He was considered a scholar at both schools, very smart, on the honor roll because of his excellent grades, and consistently had perfect attendance. He loved school, rain or shine. He was athletic as well. He was a basketball player on the Pattillo basketball team. During his high school years, he dated Janet James. They were engaged to be married upon his return to the United States. He had one friend that stuck with him no matter what, Walter Bro Shaw. Not only was Bob smart, but he was known for his lovely smile and having a heart of gold. He supported his family and friends wholeheartedly. He was drafted into the United States Army on July 31st, 1969. He obtained the rank of E4, Specialist 4, of the C Company, 2nd Battalion, 28th Infantry, 1st Infantry Division, Big Red, USARV. He was wounded in Ben Duong Province, South Vietnam, on January 18, 1970, and the family was notified on January 20, 1970, his birthday, of the accident. He succumbed to his injuries on January 30, 1970, in Japan. He was decorated with ribbons and medals that included the Vietnam Service Medal, RVN Vietnam Campaign Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Purple Heart Medal, and the Army Combat Infantry Badge. Listed on panel 14W, line 81 of the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C., you will find Bobby Eugene Jones. His siblings stated that after 52 years of his passing, they still have the same sentiments of their brother. Lance Corporal Franklin Roosevelt Thorpe. A tribute to my fallen comrade in arms. Military service, whether good or bad, long or short, places an indelible memory in the mind and the heart of the service person. The service person, above all other men and women, is required to practice one of the greatest acts of religious training, that of sacrifice. In peacetime and time of war, they disclose those divine attributes which their Maker gave when he created them in his own image. No physical courage and no brute instinct can take the place of the divine help which alone can sustain them. Service persons, above all other people, pray for peace, for they know that they must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war. I did not know Lance Corporal Franklin Roosevelt Thorpe, United States Marine Corps. I knew one of his older brothers who was my classmate. In 1967, I attended his military funeral in the Pattillo Auditorium. I sat to the left of his family seating and can still see the image of the United States Air Force Major that was sitting with the family. There is no doubt in my military mind that he served with distinction and dedication as indicated by the awards and decorations that you see displayed for him. He was and remains a credit to himself, his family, and to the former W.A. Pattillo High School. At the close of the service, as the flag-draped casket passed me, I rendered the hand salute with the utmost respect for this fallen Trojan, my comrade in arms, as on the following week I will be leaving on a year of assignments: Fort Gordon, Georgia, Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and the Republic of Vietnam. Submitted by Dr. Fred Woods, Major, retired United States Army. Specialist 4, Cicero Whitfield Jr. Cicero was the only son and second child born to the late Cicero Whitfield Sr. and Annie Lee Bradley Whitfield. He was born in Tarboro, North Carolina on March 24, 1948. He was raised in a close family with his parents and 4 sisters, 1 older sister and 3 younger. Cicero was a 1966 graduate of W.A. Pattillo High School. While in school, he played football and he was a school bus driver. He was a sports fan, especially baseball, football, boxing, and wrestling. He also loved fishing and camping. He had an adventurous, humble, and tenacious spirit. He joined the military not only to protect his homeland, but with hopes and dreams of seeing other parts of the world and experiencing different cultures. Before entering the military at age 18, and contrary to his family's advice, Cicero was adamant, and he married his first and only love, the late Linda Sue King of Whitakers, North Carolina. About a month after they wed, he entered the armed forces. Cicero enlisted and went into the Army on June 28, 1966. He was a member of the Bravo Company, FSE, Support Battalion, 1st Brigade Headquarters, 10th Airborne Division, Screaming Eagles, USARV. Specialist 4 Whitfield served our country for a few days short of 14 months, until his death on August 22, 1967, in the Ben Duong province of South Vietnam. His tour in Vietnam was 1 month and 25 days. He was 19 years young at the time of his death. SP4 Cicero Whitfield Jr. was awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge, CIB, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Service Medal, and the National Defense Service Medal. He is honored in the Vietnam Memorial located in Washington, D.C., on the northwest side of the National Memorial, on panel 25E, line 32, on the Wall of Faces. Army Airborne Specialist 4 Cicero Whitfield Jr. proudly made the ultimate sacrifice for the protection of our freedom and safety of our nation. A tribute of love and gratitude to all the parents, grandparents, and guardians who raised and were caretakers of the students who attended W.A. Pattillo School. We honor you for the love, disciplinary actions, and sacrifices you made so that those entrusted to your care receive the best education possible. For the weary days and nights that you have struggled to instill in us the value and privilege of being able to attend a school where we could thrive, grow, and be prepared for life, whether or not we wanted to hear it at the time. Though most, if not all of you, who were guardians of the students who attended W.A. Pattillo from 1924 to 1970 have transitioned from labor to reward, your presence is always felt. Every achievement that any of us have made in life is because of your devotion to us. We continue to strive to make you proud of us, and we pray that you know that your sacrifices were not in vain. It takes a village. That's what we had in East Tarboro, a village. It didn't matter who your biological parents were, all the adults in East Tarboro had the authority to discipline any one of us who were doing something wrong. Then we had to pay for it again when our real parents or guardians heard about it. See how many of these wonderful and remarkable people you can remember by face alone. See if you can see your classmates in their faces. Remember, you can pause to get a better and longer look at any individual. We hope you enjoyed watching those amazing pictures of the parents and guardians who made a difference in the lives of the students who walked the halls of Pattillo. We would now like to thank and honor those Trojans who are currently working and have worked diligently in the past to keep the W.A. Pattillo legacy alive. Katharina Joyce Watson said, "You can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you won't go." And John Maxwell stated, "Why you lead and the way you lead are important. They define you, your leadership, and ultimately your contribution." And now, our leadership team. Ann C. Adams, class of 1969, Chairwoman, Archives Committee. Dr. Florence Arnold Armstrong, class of 1963. Dr. Armstrong resides in Tarboro, North Carolina. She received a Bachelor of Arts in Music Education from St. Augustine's University in 1967. She furthered her formal education by earning a master's degree from North Carolina Central University and culminated her studies with the Doctorate of Education from Nova Southeastern University. She serves on several public service organizations and projects. She is a life member of the NAACP and has held offices and worked with the Democratic Party at the county, state, and national levels. She is currently the Edgecombe County Board of Elections Chair and member of the North Carolina State Board of Elections. She is the chaplain and a member of the Board of Directors of the Tarboro Community Development Corporation. She currently serves as the chairwoman for the Archives Committee. She is currently retired. Dr. Veronica J. Bradley, class of 1967. Veronica Jean Bradley was the first of 4 children born to Dolores Pippin Bradley and the late James H. Bradley Sr. She graduated from W.A. Pattillo High School with a full academic scholarship and an award for writing from North Carolina's largest circulated newspaper, the News and Observer. Being editor-in-chief of the newspaper was her favorite extracurricular activity in high school. After leaving Pattillo, Veronica matriculated and earned a Bachelor's and Master's of Art and a Doctor of Philosophy degrees. She is a retiree and a resident of Hampton, Virginia, which is the home of her undergraduate alma mater, Hampton Institute, now Hampton University. At her church, Veronica is a teller, the church administrator, the chairperson of the Pastor's Anniversary Committee, and an intercessory prayer team member. Among her most memorable professional organizational memberships are the American Association for University Women, Pi Lambda Theta Honor Society, Kappa Delta Pi International Honor Society, Phi Delta Kappa Fraternity in Education, and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. During her tenure in the Alumni Association, she has served as the Vice Chair of the 36th Annual Reunion Committee in 2017, the Chairperson of the Publications Committee, and a member of the Program Committee. Dr. Bradley currently provides services in the association as the Finance Chairperson and Budget Officer, a Director at Large, and a member of the Public Relations Committee. Veronica genuinely enjoys traveling, reading, writing, baking, and event planning. She has a special affinity for being in service of others to facilitate improved conditions. Mrs. Barbara G. Carter, class of 1968. Mrs. Giles resides in Burlington, North Carolina. She played on the girls' basketball team, was a member of the Spanish Club and the Choral Club at Pattillo. She attended and graduated from Barbara Scotia College, Concord, North Carolina, receiving a BA degree in Sociology, Social Work, and a minor in Spanish. She worked as a dental assistant for Dr. Moses A. Ray. She was employed with the Nash Edgecombe Economic Development Incorporated. Her positions included Head Start teacher, employment and training counselor, and community organization specialist. Barbara is a member of the St. Stephen Missionary Baptist Church, Tarboro, North Carolina, where she has served as a Sunday school teacher, superintendent of the Sunday school, financial secretary, clerk, and other offices. Barbara has 1 daughter and 1 granddaughter. She has served as secretary of the W.A. Pattillo High School National Alumni Association, Incorporated, for 3 years. Reverend George T. Cromwell, class of 1961. Reverend Cromwell resides in Garner, North Carolina. He began his ministry at the age of 19 at Eastern Star Baptist Church, Tarboro, North Carolina. He attended Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary in Wake Forest, North Carolina. He holds a Master of Divinity degree from Shaw University School of Divinity in Raleigh, North Carolina. A pastor for 24 years, Reverend Cromwell currently serves as pastor at Barnes Chapel Missionary Baptist Church in Goldsboro, North Carolina. He expresses his love for God, the Christian church, and the children of God in effective teaching and preaching of God's Word. He has served as an adjunct professor at Shaw School of Divinity and taught in North Carolina public schools for 28 years. As a special educator, teaching school was a ministry for him from which he retired. He and his wife Gail are proud parents of 1 son and 2 daughters and grandparents of 6 grandchildren. He enjoys reading and swimming. He currently serves as Director at Large. Mr. Johnny Bryant, class of 1959, Chaplain of the North. Ms. Stellianne B. Curtis, class of 1970, Chairwoman, Hall of Fame Committee. Mrs. Gladys Harrell Dunn, class of 1963, Southeast Regional Director. Mrs. Cynthia Knight Dockery, class of 1973. Mrs. Dockery currently resides in Lanham, Maryland. She was married to the late Wayne Cornelius Dockery Sr. for 39 years. They have 2 sons, 7 grandchildren, and she is eagerly awaiting the birth of their first great-granddaughter. She currently serves as the executive assistant to the senior pastor of Galilee Baptist Church in Suitland, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Upper Marlboro, Maryland. She also serves as the treasurer of the Deaconess Ministry of Galilee and is one of the choir directors in the Music and Fine Arts Ministry. She is co-founder and chairwoman of the board of directors of the Tarboro Community Development Corporation. In high school, she served as co-chair of the Yearbook Committee, president of the Junior Mental Health Association, and chosen Outstanding Senior and Most Talented Superlative. She was elected for 2 consecutive years to represent her school in the North Carolina National Typing Competition. She is the former chairwoman of the Pattillo Alumni Association's Technology and Publications Committees, respectively, and currently serves as the chairwoman of the Public Relations Committee, merging of the Technology and Publication Committees. She enjoys helping others singing, reading, writing, and swimming. Mrs. Lois C. Hinton, class of 1968. Mrs. Hinton currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. Following graduation, she attended Livingston College in Salisbury, North Carolina, where she was a member of the Livingstone Drama Guild. Later, she graduated from Barton College, formerly Atlantic Christian College, Wilson, North Carolina, receiving a BS degree in sociology with a concentration in social welfare services. She is credentialed as a Human Service Board Certified Practitioner by the Center for Credentialing and Education, Incorporated. She is a member of the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church in Durham, North Carolina, and served in the music, hospitality, and women's ministries. Her services to the community are former member of the Catholic Parish Outreach Advisory Board, a former volunteer for the Catholic Parish Outreach Food Pantry, a precinct judge, served as a group facilitator for the Community Bible Study, and is currently serving on the servants team of Community Bible Study. She is married to her loving husband of 34 years, Carnell Hinton, formerly of Wilson, North Carolina. They are the parents of 2 children and grandparents of 3. She is passionate about the W.A. Pattillo National Alumni Association, which she served as the Tarboro Chapter Secretary-Treasurer under the administration of the late Mr. Charlie Brown, National Secretary and Program Chairperson under the administration of Dr. Fred Wood Jr., former president, and served as co-chairperson of the 37th Annual Reunion 2018. Mrs. Joanne R. Jefferson, class of 1965. Mrs. Jefferson currently resides in Baltimore, Maryland. She was a member of the W.A. Pattillo School Chorus. After graduation, She attended Edgecombe Community College, formerly Edgecombe Technical Institute. She is a member of the Order of Eastern Star, Wade Chapter No. 8 in Baltimore, Maryland, a member of the Christian Love Baptist Church, and serves on the Women's Ministry, the Pastor's Aid, the Puppet Ministry, and a former member of the choir. She also served as former secretary and vice president of the Alumni. She currently serves as the chairwoman of the Recruiting Nominating Committee. She is married to Manning Alvin Jefferson Jr. She is currently retired. Mr. Charles Lyons, class of 1969. Mr. Lyons currently resides in Port Arthur, Texas. He attended Princeville Elementary School and entered W.A. Pattillo High School in 1965. After graduation, he joined the U.S. Marine Corps, where he served for 2 years. After his tour of duty, he moved to Washington, D.C., and worked for the federal government. His career was in logistics management. He is currently an independent contractor for Classic Transport, LLC, in Elkhart, Indiana. He is a father and grandfather. He currently serves as the chairman of the Logistics Committee and is Sergeant at Arms. Mr. Richard L. Lyons, class of 1968, Northeast Regional Director. Mr. Jack Matheson, class of 1962, Chairman, Bylaws Committee. Mayor Delia W. Perkins, class of 1960. Mayor Perkins resides in Princeville, North Carolina. She is the eldest of 3 children. A former 2-term mayor of the town of Princeville, North Carolina, she has also held membership on the Edgecombe County Health Board, Edgecombe County Schools, Even Start Program, the National Conference of Black Mayors, the North Carolina Conference of Black Mayors, and the Board of Directors of the North Carolina League of Municipalities. She is married to Rayfield Perkins, and together they have 6 children, along with 10 grandchildren. She is a director at large. Mrs. Jeanette Williams Pettaway, class of 1966. Mrs. Pettaway resides in Tarboro and New York. Her Pattillo activities included Modern Dance Group, Athletic Department's Concessio Team, the Library Assistance Club, and a 1966 senior debutante. She graduated from Elizabeth City State University, class of 1970. She served as New York Alumni Chapter Secretary, later elected to Vice President, life member of the National Alumni Association. She is a member of the Abyssinian Baptist Church of Harlem, New York, and she is a member of the Scholarship Ministry, Welcome and Hospitality Ministry, Watch Care Eastern Star Missionary Baptist Church. She is a former member of the National Action Network, NAACP. She and her husband have 2 children and 1 grandchild. She is retired and enjoys traveling, reading, writing, watching tennis, classic movies, the outdoors, and words with friends. She currently serves as the financial secretary. Mrs. Minnie Pitt Pierce, class of 1967. Mrs. Pierce currently resides in New York City. She is retired from the New York Board of Education. She enjoys traveling, sports, and movies. She has 2 children and 7 grandchildren. She currently serves as the chairwoman of the Benevolence Committee. Mrs. Carolyn B. Pritchett, class of 1973. Mrs. Pritchett resides in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She attended Cortez Peters Business College in Washington, D.C., and she worked for the Department of Justice in a work-study program. She was interested in becoming a civil rights attorney and met and worked with many of the FBI team members. After the FBI job, she decided to return to Tarboro and became employed as a teacher assistant at Carver Elementary School. She later started working at Black & Decker and returned to school at Edgecombe Community College while working during the day and taking classes at night. She married the late William Pritchett in March of 1987. She serves as a director at large. Mrs. Charlotte S. Privet, class of 1966. Mrs. Privet resides in Tarboro, North Carolina. She is a retired educator, but still enjoys working, assisting, and helping students. She enjoys being in the educational arena of the students and schools of Edgecombe County. She says when one student is able to improve his life educationally, the entire county improves. She is a member of the Mount Pisgah Presbyterian Church in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. She is also a member of the Chancel Choir and Vacation Bible School staff. She is president of the Nash Edgecombe County Chapter of Fayetteville State University Alumni Association, benevolent chairperson, and a member of the Nash Edgecombe Retired School Personnel. She is married to Raymond Privet, and they have 1 son and 4 grandchildren. She enjoys music, trying new recipes, being with family, and searching family ancestry. She currently serves as the chairwoman of the Scholarship Committee. Mr. Thomas Reeves, Class of 1965, Director at Large. Mr. James Victor Spencer, Class of 1963. Mr. Spencer resides in California. He still looks forward to and making it to the reunion celebration every July. He looks forward to connecting with old classmates and schoolmates. He said it's exciting to see how we have all changed and dealt with life's challenges. He appreciates the association's opportunity to give back to the youth by awarding scholarships to help defray some of the expenses of attending college and experiencing the rewards of a college education that is vital in today's society. He said there will never be another Pattillo as we knew it, but we can continue to hold on to the memories that we cherish, memories of how and where we got our starts, and pass some of them on to our children, grandchildren, and friends. He serves as the Northwest Southwest Regional Director. Mr. Clinton Stevens, Class of 1966, Chaplain of the South. Mrs. Ruby W. Williams, Class of 1965. Mrs. Williams currently resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. She has 2 daughters. She was a proud Trojan cheerleader for 2 years, participated in the choir, and a member of the yearbook staff. She graduated from A&T State University as a professional biology major. During her junior year, she discovered a career that would satisfy her passion for research, cytotechnology. She was certified a registered cytotechnologist by the School of Cytotechnology in Richmond, Virginia. She is currently retired and serves as the chairwoman of the membership committee. Dr. Fred S. Wood Jr., Class of 1962. Dr. Wood resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. He is the second of 3 children, a 1962 honor graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School, where he was active in athletics and multiple school activities. A Vietnam veteran, Dr. Wood is a retired United States Army officer with the rank of Major and an inductee in the North Carolina A&T State University Army Aggie Battalion Hall of Fame. He is also a retired assistant dean from the School of Education at the North Carolina A&T State University. He is also a member of Kappa Delta Pi, an international honor society in education, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and a member of Providence Baptist Church in Greensboro, where he served as chairman of its trustee board. Dr. Wood believes in the writings of Hebrews 13:16. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. He shares all his God-given talents willingly. He is an avid woodworker and architectural draftsman. He has been a resident of Greensboro, North Carolina since 1970. He is married to the former Jeanette Jackson of Greensboro. They have 2 adult daughters and 2 grandsons. From 2011 until 2020, Dr. Wood has served as the elected president of the W.A. Pattillo High School National Alumni Association. In 2020, he was appointed by the board to the position of interim president, where he currently serves. Mr. Othar Woodard, Class of 1968, Parliamentarian. Former leaders and administration. Mr. Naim Akbar, Class of 1965, former Vice President. Mrs. Madeline Belcher Allicott, Class of 1972, former Parliamentarian. Mrs. Myrna Deloach, Class of 1956, former Hall of Fame Chair. Minister Barbara W. Fester, Class of 1971, former Chaplain of the North. Mrs. Mary S. Lloyd, Class of 1968, former Assistant Secretary. Mrs. Kathy B. Parker, Class of 1968, former Hall of Fame Chair. Mrs. Deborah Porter Pettaway, Class of 1972, former Treasurer. Ms. Fiesta T. Reynolds, Class of 1973, former Technology Chair. Ms. Reynolds currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. She has 2 daughters and 3 energetic grandsons. She is happily retired. She enjoys anything involving her grandchildren, working, outdoors, swimming, walking, and photography. She is the former chairperson of the Technology Committee and currently serves on the Public Relations Committee. Mrs. Lovey B. Rooks, Class of 1959, former Program Co-Chair. Mrs. Doris Stith, Class of 1970, former Finance Chair. Ms. Linda Worsley, Class of 1968, former Southeast Director. In memorial of those who died from COVID. In memory of our beloved classmates, the class of 1972. Remembering our beloved classmates of 1973. Honoring and remembering senior class advisors, principals, and deceased classmates, class of 1968. In remembrance of our loving W.A. Pattillo alumni, affectionately submitted by Carrie Williams Armston and Sandra Williams Armstrong. in remembrance of Wayne Cornelius Dockery Sr. You are forever in our hearts and memory. Your wife, Cynthia, children, Randolph and Wayne Jr., grandchildren, siblings, and family members. Never forgotten, Mom and Dad, Fred and Bessie Knight, siblings Mary, Charles, Raymond, James, and Evangeline. Love from Shirley, Minnie, Celeste, Phyllis, Cynthia, and Sandra. A memorial to Richard H. Parker, Raymond H. Parker, and Curtis Black, in lasting memory of my two brothers, graduates of W.A. Pattillo High School. Pattillo High was a part of the village that raised us and prepared us for a journey to become successful in a society that was segregated. Being older, they gave me two examples of the tenacity and consistency that was needed to reach a level of professional maturity. For that, I thank them, Pattillo, East Tarboro, NCCU, and Asbury Park High School. Lovingly submitted by Milton Parker, class of 1961.
Advertisements.
announcements.
Alumni founders. Mr. Nathan Lewis, born on September 23, 1934, Nathan Lewis was raised by his grandmother, Mary Eliza Lewis. He loved Tarboro and his football playing days at Pattillo High School passionately. After graduating from Pattillo in 1955, he accepted a full scholarship at Shaw University, where he also played football. His teammates nicknamed him Mule Train because he hit hard, protected the ball, and ran with great speed. Nathan was inducted into the Hall of Fame at Shaw University for his exceptional football skills, determination, and ultimate love of the game. He graduated from Shaw University with a Bachelor of Science degree in education. Later, he got a master's degree in special education from Antioch University. Nathan returned home often to visit and enjoyed sharing stories about growing up with his friends and telling jokes. He was especially proud of his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He expired September 10, 2010. Mr. William Henry Boyd, fondly known as Henny Penny. William H. Boyd was born in 1938. He was raised in an area of Tarboro known as the Depot. It was an African-American residential and commercial area, which was the last section of Tarboro to be developed. From 1938 until 1955, his family's residence was located at 1717 Main Street. After his father died in 1955, the family relocated to Princeville. His parents were John Henry Boyd, affectionately known as Pee-wee, and Jessie Perkins Boyd. He has 4 siblings, Roland, Ruth, Elizabeth, and Curtis. William was a graduate of the Pattillo High School class of 1959. He participated in varsity football as a guard and defensive tackle. He was also an avid baseball player. He played as an outfielder and catcher. His athletic career spanned 1954 to 1957. In 1961, William went to work at the Carolina Telephone and Telegraph Company in Tarboro, North Carolina. After 30 years of dedication and commitment to the telephone company, he retired in 1991. He was a resident of Princeville. He passed away on March 2, 2016. Mr. George E. Worsley Sr., the only child born to George Worsley and Karen Pettaway. George Edward Worsley Sr. was born in Tarboro, North Carolina on July 14, 1922. George was a 1940 graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School. He joined the U.S. Marines on May 26, 1943. He served his country in World War II, and he was honorably discharged on December 29, 1945. He furthered his education at Howard University, where he received a BA degree in liberal arts in 1952. George became a dedicated member of Mount Carmel Baptist Church, Washington, D.C. in 1952. He served as a deacon, a board member, chairman of the budget committee, and a senior usher. He was a Mason and a member of Mecca Temple No. 10 for over 10 years and a member of St. John Chapter No. 7. And he served as worshipful master of Victory Lodge No. 23. George loved Pattillo High School, Tarboro, his family, and friends. He died April 4, 1997 in Washington, D.C. Mr. Rayfield Perkins. Rayfield Perkins is a native of Princeville, North Carolina. He is son of the late Maggie Perkins and Leslie Eason. He is the youngest of 8 children. He is the only surviving sibling. He is a graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School class of 1955. He played on the Trojan football team and was also a member of the band. After graduation, Rayfield worked at the Davenport Oil Company for 3 years and then for Carolina Telephone Company as a driver. He retired from Carolina Telephone Company in 1995 with 35 years of service. He received several safe driving awards while at Carolina Telephone Company. Rayfield is a very active and faithful member of the St. Luke Church of Christ in Princeville, North Carolina. As an ordained deacon, he has served as an elder of the church for 10 years. Rayfield enjoys working in his yard and especially joining his church members for a morning breakfast at St. Luke Church. He is married to the former Delia J. Wood of Tarboro. They have celebrated 52 years of matrimony. Let me say that again. They have celebrated 52 years of matrimony. 5 of their 6 children survived the 2013 passing of the eldest child, James E. Wood. They are Sylvia Davenport, Anthony Perkins, Kermit Perkins, Jeffrey Perkins, and Ruby Perkins. Their children have blessed them with 8 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Now, let's meet the 2022 Virtual Committee. Cynthia Knight Dockery, Chair. Fiesta Taylor Reynolds. Lois Cobb Hinton. Barbara Giles Carter. Jack Mathewson. Joanne Jefferson. Ann Adams. And special thanks to Jasmine Lugg, Deacon Odell Jackson. Hey, that's me. Stacia Wood. We hope you've enjoyed Day 1, Trojans Resilient and Strong, Trojans Sacrifice. Join us tomorrow for Day 2, Trojans Resilient and Strong, Trojans Pride.